Hello, Rainey.
Hello, Lolly.
Oh, today is gruesome.
Hefty case, guys.
We don't often cover the real gory, gruesome tales, but look, occasionally you have to, all right? And Rainey and I are going to tackle this one together so I don't spew.
Yeah, I'm going to take all the gory details and Lolly's going to just, fluff around in the background.
Yeah, just do the lovely Lolly stuff, okay? Yeah, we're excited about this one. And guys, surprise, we are not going to America.
Been a few weeks.
Today, we are going to my backyard in bloody Australia. So should we hop, skiddly, jump over the ditch and head on in?
Welcome to Australia.
Welcome to Australia, baby. Let's go.
And you can't handle the climate. You can't handle the climate. You can't handle the climate. You can't handle the climate and scandal.
Today, we are heading to the Upper Hunter Valley region in New South Wales. This is a coal mining and farming district and a little town located within this region called Aberdeen is where our story begins. Aberdeen is known for its abattoirs, the meatworks.
Ew. It's bloody Slaughterville, loves. Awful. I mean, it stinks everywhere.
If you don't know what an abattoir is, friends, it's how your meat arrives on your plate. This is where all those poor little animals head for the end of their days, slicing and dicing. So the abattoirs really keep Aberdeen going. This is the bread and butter for this town. And most people that live in Aberdeen either work at the abattoirs or have some sort of connection there. We're going way back. It's the 1940s. Jack Rowan, he is a manager at one of the biggest abattoirs in town. And Jack and his wife Barbara have become the talk of the town.
Ooh.
These guys, they're married. They've got 4 sons.
Ooh.
But Barb, she's been a little sluzzer.
Uh-oh, Barb.
Barb's been having an affair with another meat worker. Ooh, this guy's name's Ken. Little Ken and Barbie action.
Kenny.
Jack would find out, and this is the 1940s. I got to say, Barbara, you're pretty bold, loves, to be having an affair back then because, they didn't really have jobs and were self-sufficient and independent women like we are now.
That's right.
But Barb didn't give a fuck. So Barb and Ken would run off into the sunset and she would ditch her 4 sons and Jack, her husband, and get ready for a new life.
See you later, boys. I've had enough.
Savage. Ken and Barb, they would move to a new small town and they would just carry on life together. They would also end up having 4 children.
Whoa. I mean, talk about fertile.
I know, 8 kiddies to Barb. And amongst these 4 children was a set of twins, Rainey.
Oh,
2 girls, Katherine and Joy.
gorge.
Poor mum. I mean, I love being a twin, but I don't know if I'd love having twins.
I think the first part would be quite hard, but they'll just entertain each other,
Yes, you do. You pay your dues up front. The newborn baby phase, terrible, but then later on, they can be each other's babysitter. Perfect. Ken and Barbara and their 4 kids, they're just settling into life. It's chaos. Jack, her ex-husband, would pass away a few years after Barbara had left. Barb would take custody of 2 of the boys and another 2 would go and live with some other family members. So now Ken, Barbara and 6 kids are all settling in to just normal rural New South Wales life. Now, I wish I could say that these guys just had a big family and a happy life, but that couldn't be further from the truth. These guys were hard. They were rough around the edges. Jagged, actually. They were as rough as they come.
Damn.
Ken was a drunk, very abusive. Mum, feisty Barb, she could give it back too. She was pretty abusive. These guys would have punch-ups and fisticuffs.
Oh, Christ.
Barb would be beating everyone, the kids, the dad.
Oh.
He would be giving it back. It really was an awful, awful household for these children to be growing up in.
Oh, talk about childhood trauma, loves.
I mean, you want to talk about childhood trauma. I'll tell you who's got some. Bloody Kathy and Joy and her siblings. So as you can imagine, for these children, it was a terrible, terrible upbringing. And of the 2 girls, the twins, Katherine was affected by this quite a lot. Poor Katherine did suffer from physical abuse in the household, but she's also mentioned that she did encounter sexual abuse growing up from other family members.
Oh, Christ.
It was just horrific. These kids weren't really given a fair shot at life of being normal people. Katherine would develop a pretty strong fear of men, and this would harden her to men in her life as she grew up. When she went on to high school, Katherine became the bully. She would physically assault other students. It didn't matter if it was a boy or a girl, and it sure as hell didn't matter if it was her twin sister Joy, because she would give Joy her goddamn beatdowns.
Really?
Oh, she would thrash her twin.
Oh my God, Laurel, you better watch out, bitch. I'm coming for you. Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a physical fight, have we?
No.
Have we had a skifuffle?
No, the only time I was trying to get that love letter off you and you fell and smashed your leg on a pot.
That's right. I've got a gigantic scar. Anywho, so Katherine has become a bully, a loner. People are scared of her, and she's just a pretty awful person. She's turned into a pretty awful teen. I'm just going to say it, guys, but can you blame her with the household environment she had growing up? Katherine decides to drop out of school because she doesn't need that shit. Because Rainey, Katherine's got big hopes and dreams for her life. She dreams of working at the abattoir, in the slaughterhouse, and following in her family's footsteps.
What else is there to do in that town?
Well, that's right. And when I say everyone in the town is either working there or connected to the abattoir, it's true. Katherine's dad worked there. Her mum's first husband worked there. Granddad's worked there. Everyone works at the goddamn meatworks. It's the place to be.
Could you imagine your first day at the slaughterhouse? I'm like, no, come on, guys. I'm taking these cows and I'm going home.
I know. Starting a farm. Katherine absolutely loved it at the abattoir.
Ew.
When Katherine started working there at 16 years old, all of her dreams came true. She started out cutting offal. I don't know what that is. It sounds awful. And eventually she would go on to become a boner. Boning is a very skilled process, and it requires the boner to remove bones, fat, connective tissue using very specialized knives. So it's quite a particular job, a lot of attention to detail. And Katherine loved this job so much, she would get her very own set of specialized knives that became her prized possession. She would eventually go on to even hanging these knives above her bed. She loved them so much, and she would sleep under the blades every single night.
Nice. Who needs a dream catcher when you've got a set of knives?
That's right. Katherine's a very strong woman, and I'm not just saying strong-minded, determined, physically strong. She's tall. She is a redhead, embodies the term fiery redhead. This bitch is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's just got this aggressive edge about her. People around town would say that when Katherine would get angry, she would physically change. She would go incredible Hulk mode, loves. She would physically change. You could see the rage coming out of this bitch's eyeballs and ears. She just really was a fiery, scary woman.
And she's not like she's a big butch woman. She's still like a slim frame.
She is small, but she's just got this kind of super strength about her.
I know, she's a badass bitch.
She looks a bit like I wouldn't say she's beautiful. And I couldn't say she's beautiful on the inside. She's fucked.
She is.
But look, she's working her dream job. She's late teens, and at her dream job, she would meet her dream man. David Kellett was working at the abattoir, and these two hit it off. David was a hard-working, drunk, suffering from PTSD. This man sounds dreamy.
Wow, what a treat.
He'd actually had some hardships in his life, so he did turn to the booze to cope with some of the things that he went through. But look, he did sound like a bit of a mess of a man. But let's be honest, Katherine's a bit of a mess of a woman, so these two were a match made in heaven. They met very young and decided to just really make things official as quick as they could. And in 1974, these two would get married. Arriving in elegant style on Katherine's motorbike, David's heavily intoxicated. These two would have a beautiful white trash ceremony amongst their friends and family.
Nice.
David and Katherine would ride off into the sunset, into newlywed bliss. But the bliss wouldn't last long because on the night of their wedding, things would take a violent turn. These two are enjoying some intimate time together. It's the night of their wedding. Are they popping cherries? Probably not, but let's just say they are. Katherine is getting a little angry, a little disappointed, because David is pretty hammered. He's pretty wasted. He is losing stamina. He can't keep going. And when she attempts to bone him for the third time, remember she's a professional boner, he cannot perform. So she strangles her new husband in a fit of rage.
I mean, fair enough. Come on. Come on, mate. Round
on,
3.
mate.
Ding, 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 ding.
I know. Look, we do joke about it. If it was the other way around, it would be very horrifying and we would be abusing the shit out of
Oh, it's
the
not
man.
right.
So
Yeah.
it isn't right. This should have been some pretty massive red flags, but David decided to overlook the strangulation on the night of their wedding and move into married life with Katherine.
What a wedding present. Take that. Oh, God.
I know. Could you imagine being that happening on your wedding night? That would be terrifying. And look, these guys, they get on with life. By the next year, Katherine is pregnant. She's young too. She's about 20 years old at this stage, and things are going peacefully well. Just kidding. Absolutely not. Things are volatile. There has been a lot of abuse, a lot of rows, a lot of drunken fights over the past 12 months. At one point, Katherine even smashed a bottle and gave her husband a little stabbing.
Yeah, wow.
But David decided to just turn a blind eye because this was a woman. Domestic abuse, physical abuse happening from a woman. It's a bit embarrassing, especially back at this time, you know, the late 70s. He's not going to confide in his mates. You got to be the man, the big man.
Take that bashing silently.
It's a bit sad, but David does just decide to get on with things. Now, one night, Katherine's heavily pregnant and she is getting a little pissed off. David, he's down at the pub. He's actually partaking in a little darts competition. It's going well. He's making it to the finals. But he doesn't realise that he has passed his curfew. He's late. And Katherine, she is boiling away at home. Her rage is simmering away. And she is pissed. She decides to go and burn all of his clothes while she's waiting for this motherfucker to get home. She torches his clothes and then she is waiting at the door. And finally, she hears David pull up. He gets out the car. Starts to walk into the door, feeling pretty good about himself. He's done quite well at the local darts competition.
Nice. Good on you, mate.
As he enters the house, Katherine is standing at the door with a fry pan. Katherine, put it down.
Put it down, bitch.
He walks in and Katherine picks up the fry pan and she smashes it around David's head. He falls to the ground. He's in a bad way. He manages to get himself up. He would stumble to the neighbours. As the neighbours open the door, he collapses to the ground. They would call the police. He'd be rushed off to hospital and he's suffering from a very severe fractured skull.
Oh, I mean, geez. He's lucky to be alive.
100%.
Wow.
The police are shocked. They want to obviously press charges. God knows why they didn't. David would miraculously make a full recovery and he did not want to press charges against his wife.
Too scared.
I mean, I'd be too scared too. Nothing would happen to Katherine. These guys would just get on with life as usual. The next year, May 1976, Katherine and David would welcome a baby daughter into the world. And surely you're thinking, now these guys could just get on with a happy life. Hell no. You guys, there is no such thing as a Band-Aid baby. This is going to exacerbate the problems. And it did. The animosity between the two of them got stronger. Katherine's mood has taken another level. Those hormones are going wild. She's in that postpartum phase and she is not doing well. David, on the other hand, he has been a dirty dog. He's been cheating. He's got a side piece and he decides,
fuck this, man. I can't handle Katherine.
and he would take off and run away to Queensland with his mistress, leaving his newborn baby and his wife, Katherine, behind.
What a dog. Maybe he should have done that after the wedding night.
Yes, that was the time to do it, after the strangulation. As you can imagine, Katherine does not deal with this well. She is spiraling and her behaviour is getting worse. People are starting to notice. At one point, some of the locals noticed Katherine walking her pram around town and she was shaking this pram violently. People would come to her aid and be like, what's going on? She would be taken to a psych ward and be diagnosed with postnatal depression. She would be put on antidepressants. Now, this didn't actually help her situation because a few days later, she would hatch a plan for the ultimate revenge on her husband. July 1976, still 20 years old, just a baby. She takes her 2 to 3 month old daughter to the train tracks and she would place her daughter in the centre of those tracks and walk away.
No.
Thank God! A local man was walking by, happened to notice the baby on the tracks and come and save this poor child.
Wow.
And apparently it was within a few minutes of a train coming by.
That is sickening. Oh, no.
Katherine would be taken back to a psych ward and she would be released the next day and given her daughter back. I'm sorry.
I mean, what the hell?
I'm sorry. What is going on here?
I know.
Stabbings, strangulations, fry pan attacks, babies on tracks. Can we please hold someone accountable for this?
I reckon. I mean,
Yeah, and it's going to get a hell of a lot looser, guys, so strap in.
Jesus Christ, is it what?
So, she's doing well. She's not doing well, guys. She's doing terribly. Not long after her release, she is at home and she runs to the neighbour's house. She knocks on the door. She needs some help. Her daughter is unwell and she needs to get this daughter to the hospital. The neighbours agree. Now, they're a family. There's a teenage girl, some sons. They all go over to the house where the baby daughter is apparently unwell. When they get into the house, Kathy flips out. She starts yelling and screaming at this poor family and would go on to swipe the knife and slash the teenage girl across the face.
Oh, no.
She tells this family that they're going to drive her to David's mum's house and she's going to kill David's mum. And then she's going to go and track down David. This family agrees, obviously. They all get into the car, absolutely terrified. They manage to convince Katherine to pull over at a local petrol station. She lets out one of the boys. He would alert the people inside and eventually the police would arrive and these guys would have a standoff with Krazy Kath and eventually they would subdue her with broomsticks.
That's fitting because she's a goddamn witch, guys.
She is a witch. What a cute time. Now they'd just shoot you.
I know.
You'd just be shot.
I know, with
Get your
broomsticks.
Yeah, where's the guns? Do they not have guns back then? Probably not.
Just broomsticks.
Guys, we're really learning that Katherine is severely unhinged and mentally unwell. She needs help. I know we're having some giggles. It's not funny. It's absolutely terrifying. This poor woman, the people in her life, this child.
She's fucked.
This news would get back to David. And at this point, David, his mistress, well, now his girlfriend, is pregnant. But he decides he has to leave her to go back and look after Katherine. I want to be like, oh, that's nice. But also, dude,
Like, what
what
the hell?
about, what? I don't really know how to think about this.
No.
Anywho, he comes back to look after Katherine, obviously the child that he's ditched, and help her get back onto a straight and narrow path. Things go well because these guys decide to have another child.
Fair enough. You know, why not?
But of course, the violence would continue behind closed doors, and that second child didn't do the trick. And ultimately, they would decide to part ways for good.
So, Katherine, she up and leaves. She takes both children with her. She's had enough. And she heads back to Aberdeen They had left and it was time to head back to be with family and start to repair her broken life. And it wouldn't take long, Lolly, because she would start dating a man called Dave Saunders in 1986.
Another David.
This guy, Dave, he was a hard-working, heavy drinking, typical Aussie bloke. A little rough around the edges, just how Kathy would like them.
Yeah.
He worked at the coal mines and he used to be a former speedway driver, so Kathy's thinking this guy's a bit of a right. And he had a sweet little dingo pup that he loved dearly. When I say a dingo pup, he probably just found him in the outback, a little dingo, and, was raising him as his own.
Kept him. Wow.
After a while, these two would move in together and it wouldn't take long, Lily, before that honeymoon period would be over. You see, Kathy didn't change her ways in her new relationship. And I tell you, when you said before that Kathy hates men being late, well, Lolly, I think you underplayed that a little bit. Well, no, you didn't underplay it a bit. The other guy got his head smashed in. Kathy, she can't stand it.
Oh.
So these guys have been bickering, fighting, and tension is a-boiling. And you see, one day Kathy is at home and she is doing the ironing.
Uh-oh. I'd be pissed too.
She is furious, and girl, I don't blame her. I fucking hate the ironing.
I know, Rainy's always doing ironing. What is wrong with you? It's 2026.
Oh,
Ew.
no, I chuck them in a pile now. I chuck them in Dan's car. I'm like, you do your own shirts. I'm not freaking doing them anymore.
The honeymoon phase is over, bitch.
Oh, I do them sometimes, but then I just, no,
Definitely not. You go, girl.
Anyway, Dave would walk in the door. Kathy is there with a burning hot iron. And she would smash Dave in the face, burning a lovely shaped iron triangle in the side of his face, and then proceed to grab him by the arms and swing him round and around and around the lounge with absolute anger because this guy was late.
Oh my God, stop it. She was swinging around like you do with a kid.
She went into Hulk mode and she is swinging around. And then she grabbed the iron and continued to smash his head in, trying to beat his skull in like she did the other Dave.
Oh my gosh. I don't know these details. This woman is terrifying.
Now, Dave managed to calm the situation down, God knows how, and these two would carry on. And Lolly, he had an iron burn mark that was on the side of his face for weeks and weeks and weeks. And that is a little hard to explain, like the little holes, the little triangle.
That is a dead giveaway that your wife's abusing you. An iron burn on the side of your face. That is horrific. Dave.
And you ask why, Lolly? Why did these men stay with Katherine? Well, apparently she's a little freaky in the sheeties.
Really? Well, I'm not surprised. She's a nasty girl.
I'm a nasty girl. I'm a nasty girl.
Kathy!
But Lolly, things wouldn't get better. They would get worse and worse and worse. Until one day, Dave, he'd had enough. He could not take the abuse anymore. He would come home and it was time for this relationship to end.
Thank you.
He is in the house arguing with Kathy, and Kathy would run outside as quick as she could, and he would follow, and she saw Kathy cradling his little dingo pup outside. And as he approached Kathy, wondering what the hell is going on, because Kathy doesn't like dogs, he would see some blood coming from the dingo's neck. And Katherine, out of anger, has slit the dog's throat.
Oh my God.
And this poor pup was laying in her arms, slowly dying.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is not on.
It's not on. Obviously for her, she's worked in the slaughterhouse, so it's no big deal. But look, I will listen to humans murdering humans all day long. But when you involve a poor innocent dog or a cat, I draw a line.
No, it's not right.
I'm not okay with it.
I'm not okay with it either.
No.
Bitch. So Katherine's laying there. This poor man's dog is dying in front of him, and she thinks it's hilarious.
Oh.
She gets up and she leaves. Dave is distressed, She hops in her car and she would drive around to her sister's house. She's got a shotgun and she is in hysterics because she says, look, Joy, I've shot Dave. Joy is thinking, oh my God, what the hell? What's going on? And it's all lies, but this is giving Kathy some satisfaction to see how shocked she was. And it's almost like she's practicing how it's all going to play out when she does kill this man because she wants to kill him. She's got so much anger.
Wow.
Look, these guys managed to figure it out and they would stay together.
No.
I know, after the murder of his poor puppy, they stayed together. However, he did try and leave her multiple times, but she just kept pulling him back in. I mean, that pussy must have been fucking whipping him all over the place.
Pussy power.
And look, Kathy would become pregnant.
Oh, Christ, those poor children.
In 1988, she would go on to have her third daughter. Dave, he is ready to step up. He goes and buys a new house. They all move in together and it is a fresh start. It's Band-Aid number 3. Yes, we're in a new relationship and he is just trying to make it work. But Lolly, this can't work. This cannot work. It is just so volatile and so toxic. Dave, he hatches a plan. He takes a leave of absence from his job and he tells Kathy he's got to go away for work. But the truth was, Lolly, he fucking gapped it to another town, didn't tell her, and just disappeared off the face of the earth. Pop.
Wow. Good for you, Dave. He had to.
He had to. This infuriated Katherine. She was so mad and she was searching high and low. She ended up telling the daughter that, well, actually, in fact, all the children, that Dave was dead. He's not coming home. Eventually, she would find herself another man.
How? Can I just put a pause? Look, guys, I don't want to be mean, but I wouldn't say Kathy's a looker. We know she's got some mean pussy power, but she is not a looker. But this bitch, she just gets man after man after man. So I think the moral of the story is I've got some like hot girlfriends that can't find partners. You got to move to these little small rural towns, clearly. You're in the wrong place. The pond's too big.
The pond's way too big. Look, this is a small town. Everyone's working at the meatworks. Everybody loves a rough girl. These men are hard. They're drinkers. And again, this new guy, it's the same thing. He's a typical Aussie bloke, big drinker, hard worker. There is not a day that goes by that these guys aren't drunk. Love it. This relationship is the same. It's toxic. It is violent. There are reports that they're both abusing each other. But you know what? In this case, man, fair enough. You got to defend yourself.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. If she's coming for you, give her a wee throat punch or something. I don't know.
Yeah, look, we don't want to condone violence, but you've got to be able to like stick up for yourself. And if it takes a little, you've got to do it.
If you're going to stay in it, I mean, geez, always be wearing a mouth guard. Back to the story. In 1991, after 11 months together, Kathy would have her first son with this man.
Oh, my God, 4
children. But Kathy's just not really into it. She's just not really digging it.
Oh.
She would end up leaving all the children, the previous 3 with other men, and this guy's son with this man. And she's like, see you later, motherfucker. I'm out of here.
Oh, my God. This woman is absolutely wild.
Wild.
He just keeps all the kids.
He kept all the kids and she left. And look, he really tried. He tried to get back with her. He was following her around and like a little sad puppy dog.
Yeah, because he's probably like,
Come get back with me so you can take your goddamn kids.
Well, that's it, right? Kathy wasn't interested. She's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. She moved on quickly. She met a lovely man named John Price in 1993. The two of them are 38 years old.
oh, wow.
Kathy's got 4 children to 3 different men that she no longer has, and she's just living her best life.
Definitely red flags. You met some woman, you're like, you got how many kids to how many men and where are they?
Massive red flags. But these guys, they hit it off. John is divorced. He has got 3 children of his own, 2 daughters and a son who he loves dearly. And again, he is just a typical Aussie bloke, big drinker, drives trucks, works at the mine. It's just a similar type of man that she would see herself with. She certainly had a type. John's daughters actually say in an interview that they really liked Kathy. The two of them got on. They both had their flaws, but all round, like, she was pretty nice. But eventually, these two would fall into the same patterns of every relationship that Kathy has had. Violence. Pricey would go to work with superficial stab wounds all over him. Not enough to seek medical attention, but, just a little stabby here and there.
John, come on, John. You got to get out of there, bro.
Catherine really decided that this man was the one for her, and she was pushing for this poor man to marry her. Don't do it. But John's not having any bar of this. He does not want to be marrying this woman because their relationship is far too toxic.
Great. Best thing I've heard all day.
She would then start playing sick little games with his daughters. One in particular, her name was Beck, he would tell her that John's not actually your father because your mom was a little whore and she was sleeping around with other men, so you actually aren't biologically related. And for a teenager, that's pretty hurtful. She would drive around in the car with the children and try and purposely swerve to run over dogs in the street. And they would say, Kathy, why are you doing that? And she's like, I just don't like dogs. John, his nickname is actually Pricey, so we're going to call him Pricey because there's too many Daves and Johns in the story. Pricey he's wanting to leave. He's had enough. She's obviously pushing for this marriage, but she then comes across a will that Dave has done, and in this will, it states that everything is being left to his ex-wife and his children, and she is furious. She couldn't be any more furious that she's not marrying the man or entitled to any of his belongings. And he's got a house and he's got a car and he's got a good job. So she decides, well, if you pay me $10,000, I will leave. Oh, well, Price is not even borrow this. He's like,
Absolutely not. No bloody way.
and this is all because she's not in the will. So she wants the money up front. So, Pricey, he's wanting to leave. He's not paying her out. Things are toxic. Things are violent. They're having some pretty hefty arguments. Kathy, she thinks it's time for revenge.
Oh.
You see, Pricey, he would bring the odd thing home from work, expired first aid kits, maybe some old torches, just stuff that would be thrown out or ready for the tip, and he'd bring it home. And in Kathy's eyes, well, he was stealing property from work. So she would get the camcorder, make a lovely recording, take it down to the local police station and also to his work. Her plan worked. Pricey would get pulled in, and there was a few items that didn't really matter, but those first aid kits, even though they were expired and ready to be chucked in the bin, would get poor Pricey fired.
A woman scorned.
A woman scorned, and poor Pricey is devastated, but for some reason, Lolly, he would stay with Kathy. He wouldn't leave. He was brainwashed and again also petrified.
I'm petrified.
Now, Kathy is at home. She's got a lot of time on her hands. She would watch a lot of horror movie, sadistic thrillers, and it was really like watching porn to her. She really got off on these disgusting films that she would watch. She even had a bit of a death room in her house that was filled with dead animals, taxidermy, like black aprons from the meatworks, like push lawnmowers, big axes, and
my God.
all over the roof, all over the walls.
Ew.
A room of horror. It was horrific, but she just loved sitting in there.
She is so disturbed.
Pricey, he's feeling a little uneasy. He's feeling a bit scared. He is back working. I'm not really sure if he's got his old job back or what it is, but he is feeling uneasy. He's got stab wounds. He's showing the colleagues. It's exactly the same as the past relationships. He needs some help. So he goes to the police station. He's going to friends. He's going to neighbours. He is trying to get all the help he could get. And Lolly, he has gone to the police station and they haven't really taken him too seriously. And they said, look, you're going to have to wait for 3 weeks for a court date. So this poor bugger, He's just going to have to wait and ride it out. His colleagues would plead for him not to go back home that night, but he said, look, if I don't, she's going to get the kids. It's going to be fine. He arrives home. It's 9:30 p.m. Thankfully, Catherine's not there. He goes to bed. 11:30 p.m., she would arrive, slip on a little black, slinky, sexy nightie. They would go to Pound Town, and then the night is over.
1st of March, 2000. Aberdeen is just beginning to wake up. People are getting ready to head into work. However, someone doesn't show up. This someone is John Price. He's a drinker, but he's a hard worker. This is very unusual, and his colleagues and his boss are a little concerned, especially with how crazy and volatile things are with him and Katherine. They chat amongst themselves and decide that one of the guys should head to the house and just do a welfare check. So one of John's colleagues, he heads to his house. And as he makes his way to the door, he can't help but notice there's some blood on the door, on the ground, and he thinks,
Hell nah. I'm not going in there. This is above my pay grade.
so he decides to call the police and leave it to the professionals.
The police would arrive. They would approach the front door and they would see that blood on the door handle. They would peer into the window. It was quite dark, and they saw what looked like a curtain hanging down and nothing else. So they would proceed to walk around the back property, and as they approached the back, they see some meat on the ground. There is a dog, so perhaps the dog hasn't eaten his breakfast or dinner, and they would then break through the back door. They would head towards the doorway with that hanging curtain, and as the officer pushed it aside, he noticed something cold and wet on his arm. And he looked down and it was blood, and he thought,
Must have cut myself when breaking into the property.
but then he realised, Lily, that this curtain wasn't a curtain. And in fact, this curtain hanging in the door was a pelt. A pelt, you say? What is a pelt? And that's when we're going to go to Fun Facts of the Crime! Fun Facts of the Crime!
I don't know what happened there at the end.
Okay, guys, today's Fun Facts of the Crime is slightly unhinged, but stay with me. So you've probably heard of the word pelt. But right before we go into the nitty-gritty, we're going to explain what it is. It's like when you go hunting and you've shot a deer and you take off the skin in one piece. So we've got a sheep skin or a deer skin, and we turn it into a cozy rug or a lovely little something. Sick. So technically it means a pelt of an animal. But we do have some sick and twisted human beings out there that will turn the human skin into a pelt and repurpose it for other reasons. Sick. But this is only in extremely rare true crime cases. It's not like we see it in day-to-day life. It's not like your neighbours are next door doing some DIY projects on each other. Sounds like a psychological meltdown and the main character of our story. So when we're talking about pelt, guys, and a little bit of warmth and a little fashion accessory on the floor, that is fine. But when humans get involved, it's just all kinds of wrong. So, this man, this poor officer, he has just realized that what he has touched is in fact the full skinning of a human body from head to toe.
No.
Perfectly intact.
That is so gross.
Pretty good job too.
I was going to say, and highly skilled. I mean,
Highly, highly skilled. The officer then would proceed into the living room and he would see a torso laying down with no head and no genitalia. He turns to his colleague and says,
Don't look.
but of course, that is the worst thing to say in a moment like this because you're going to look.
I'm looking.
There is blood everywhere. There is a pot on the stove, and as they approached the stove, a human head was inside.
No! I'm sorry. This is not real. This is
It's
not
not
real.
real.
This is not real. You can't tell me it's real.
There's a head stew in the pot, and there is 2 plates sitting on the dining room table with vegetables, some meat, and some gravy, with 2 notes beside them, one for Pricey's son and one for Pricey's daughter. As they continued through the property, they began to hear some snoring coming from down the hallway. So now they know someone is alive. They then approach the doorway, and it would be Kathy laying there unconscious with a whole bunch of empty pill packets around her. Kathy is shaken, poked and prodded, trying to be woken up, and she's pretty groggy. She's not really responding. It's clear she's been on a lot of pills, but they would arrest her and take her in for psychiatric testing because something seriously wrong has happened in this household.
How bizarre. How did we get here? We didn't see the warning signs.
Exactly. So she is in a psychiatric ward. She has been questioned. She is claiming she's not really sure what has gone on. However, there is some pretty clear signs of what has happened at the house.
Tell me.
It is determined that Pricey was stabbed 37 times, which started in the bedroom.
Oh.
He has managed to get himself up. He's turned a light on because there's blood on the light switch. He has obviously coughed because there is blood splatter from coughing on the walls.
Oh my God.
And he has proceeded to drag himself up the hallway. And as he's going up and up and up the hallway, the blood on the walls are going lower and lower and lower as he is losing blood. He manages to get to the front door. There is blood on the front door handle and on the screen, and he has then collapsed to the ground. He is, in fact, in full tact, but it's there. She has then obviously decapitated him because then the body has been moved and there are signs that the head is no longer there. Then she has skinned him and then hung him up on a hook in the doorframe.
This is someone's mum. Sorry, I'm having a hard time.
But we don't end there, Lolly. She has then cut off the genitalia parts. The genitals. She's cut off the genitals and she is gone in for the gluteus maximus, the butt cheek.
Yeah, that's the biggest muscle on the body. It's a good hefty romp.
Yeah, she's cut that off. She has roasted some for dinner.
Stop it. Stop that.
And she's chucked the rest outside for the dog who didn't want to eat it. And she's left it there for the 2 children that she didn't like and spared the other one to go and get McDonald's or something. I'm not sure.
So she wanted them to eat their dad.
She wanted them to eat their dad, and because she's left notes for them, and she's also stabbed pictures of the children except for the one she liked in the face and the eyes, and yeah. So
Wow.
that's what's happened in the house. This is horrifying for the officers. In fact, a few of them had some nervous breakdowns and needed some severe counselling.
I even heard some of them couldn't eat meat for a while too.
Well, fair enough.
I'd be vegan after that.
And look, she's been questioned. She has no memory. She's got amnesia. Then her story would change that she's a battered woman and it's domestic violence. But it's pretty clear that this woman is in her right mind because Lolly, after she has done all of this to poor Pricey, she's cleaned herself up. She has got in the car. She has whipped down, withdrawn $1,000 from his bank account. Not really sure why, but then gone home to try and kill herself.
Katherine Knight would obviously be charged with the murder of John Price. Surprisingly, she has pled not guilty. And 1 year later, this thing would go to trial. Now, the prosecution was a little concerned that she would plead insanity, that she was not of sound mind. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, duh, this bitch is insane. She's as insane as they come. But they did do all those psychiatric tests and it was determined that she was not insane.
Just an angry bitch.
So the trial would begin. However, before a witness could even take the stand, Katherine decided to change her plea and she would plead guilty of the murder of John Price because, let's be honest, you just can't explain it away.
Oh, could you, honestly, could you imagine skinning a human being?
Well, she did it for a job. She loved it. Not really that different, I suppose. Mind you, it would be different when it's someone that you loved. So, with pleading guilty, the next step would be sentencing. And Katherine Knight would be the first woman in Australian history to be sentenced to life in prison for the remainder of her natural life without the possibility of parole. She did try to appeal the case, but this was denied. And to this day, Katherine is still alive. She's still kicking on. She is 70 years old.
Oh.
And in prison, she loves a bit of pottery. She loves painting.
Nice.
Apparently, she's everyone's friend. Everyone likes her, and they even call her grandma. So surprisingly, out of all of her partners and all of her marriages, one of those partners, John Chillingwood, still to this day will visit her in prison, but the rest obviously don't if they're even alive. They must be so traumatized, apart from obviously poor Pricey.
Oh, Pricey. They do say when they've taken those grown men in for questioning, all of them have broke down in tears because it was so traumatic for them.
Oh, it would have been horrific, and not feeling like you can say anything because it's a woman. But abuse is abuse. It goes obviously on both sides. More often than not, we'll see the physical abuse from men, a lot of emotional abuse from women. What's that saying? A man will kill you, a woman will make you kill yourself. So that is the story of Krazy Katherine Knight. I hope you haven't been eating breakfast. Rainey, can you handle this crazy bitch crime and scandal?
Well, obviously not. I mean, it's just wow. Wild.
Wow.
So wild. No, those poor men, poor Pricey. What a way to go. He knew he was going to die, though. He shouldn't have gone home.
I know.
He was trying to get help. She's an evil, evil, evil woman. But anyway, Lolly, can you handle this crime and scandal?
Absolutely not. Obviously very gruesome, graphic, disgusting, but just really sad when you hear about abuse on the other side and these men not doing anything. They're too embarrassed, too ashamed. And also just sad for Katherine's upbringing, you know. She didn't stand a chance.
No.
Apparently a lot of her siblings are all messed up, but obviously not as bad as her.
Did her twin go and skin anyone or stab anyone?
No, I don't think so. It's definitely she's one of a kind. Oh my God, how disgusting. Well, look, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging in there for that one. That was a little gross.
Ew.
But we do have to cover, you know, all flavors of the true crime stories. So, look, friends, I don't know if we have the advice for today. Well, actually, look, just don't ignore the red flags. Okay, if you're getting strangled, stabbed, fry pans, you gotta leave.
Yeah.
Come on.
Guys, get out. Get out. Yeah.
You got to get out. Yeah. All right. Well, look, thanks again for tuning in. If you are loving the podcast, a little rating review. I know I say it every week, but you don't understand.
We need
helps us so much. We need it. We are getting ready to, should we tell them?
What are we doing?
Well, we're pitching the podcast. We've got some live shows coming. We've got a lot of things happening, guys. So it's a team effort. So bring it in, share the podcast, rate the podcast, tell your friends, tell your wives,
friends.
tell your mistresses. Okay.
Tell everyone.
And we will see you next week for another episode with a little less gore. Take it easy, friends. We'll see you then.
Be safe. Love you, Lolly. Bye.
Love you, Rainy. Bye.
Rainy and Lolly got a tale to tell, so sit down and listen up or go to hell. Crime, scandal, and comedy, unfiltered, unqualified, unapologetically. And you can't handle the crime, you can't handle the crime, you can't handle the crime, you can't handle the crime and scandal.
So Barbara would take custody of two. Can you hear Roger in the background there? Sorry. My dog screams.
You better go get him.
No, I can't. Could you imagine?
Oh,
He's just, you
itching.
can just scream in here. Someone wrote me a love letter, or did I write someone a love letter?
I don't know. I think we've spoken about this before.
Story time. And Rainy. So I had a love letter. Have we really? Oh, yeah.
We
did talk
definitely,
about this.
yeah, because you should have had stitches and Mum's like, you'll be right, slap on a
fuck, all
Band-Aid.
right. Go back and listen to episode, I don't know, 61. She's got some mean pussy power there,
She
bitch.
fucking does.
She's like, stare into my lips.
You will not leave.